Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions JP, let's look at Mont at level 120 after his first batch of EX jobs was released. And this video can serve as a preview, of course, at the future buffed up Mont. But it could also be fun just to have another look at the character. I don't think I've done a review of him in almost a year, and now I have much more knowledge about how the game works, so it might be fun to go back and look at him again. But I have a lot of good memories using this guy. I actually like all of the MR tanks. I think they're all usable and they all have their niches. They're not going to do as much damage or be as fast as like UR tanks, but I do like all of them. And I remember using Mont like in the Final Fantasy XIV event, that very first collaboration event, stuff like that. But recently he's been one of my most used characters actually. And that's because he's always a bonus unit for Trials of Reckoning, and then also raids. And so that's why I can recommend pretty much everybody to level him up, because especially if you go into Trials of Reckoning or raids solo, he can go into your party and get you some bonus points at the very least. And so if you're watching this in Global and you have not gotten him up to 99 yet, I think you should seriously consider that. And then I like his character in the story as well. He's one of the better main characters that I've ever seen in a mobile game like this. And it's funny, when he came out and people started using him, in most mobile games they'll give you like a free handout of the main character, but everyone was saying that this version of Mont was like the strongest character that they hand out of any mobile game. And I agree with that, he's really good. But let's look at his stats. I think the most impressive thing here is HP. That's more than Engelbert at 99, so that's very crazy. But we're seeing a lot with the EX jobs. A lot of the the first 10 characters or so. Most of them are attackers, but Mont is the only one who can tank outside of Christmas Vineta. So he might be a good choice to go against those other EX characters. Maybe more than other regular like 89 or 99 units. Agility is still low, even at level 120. Like Agrius, even at 89, she has like 10 more agility than Mont here. Agrius is on the fast side, but this is also similar to like Engelbert and stuff. And then move and jump 4 and 2, that's really good. So even though his agility is not super high, he has a lot of mobility. And that can be pretty important for, especially a tank, a character that you want to go to the front and then draw attacks too. And then with the board, and then with a couple of the support abilities equipped, he has 35 defense. That's going to mean 35% damage cut to all attack scaled attacks coming at him. Doesn't matter if they're slash or pierce or whatever. And then we can look at his resistances. His resistances aren't great actually. He's got 10/25 strike and then negatives on all the rest. And so I kind of feel like Mont is not good for a resistance build. Like, giving him golden armor and Iron Giant and all that stuff. A lot of times when you're working on a defense for a character, you want to take their strength and then build off of that, rather than, raising all of the different types of defenses a little bit. And so Mont's strength really is his defense. And so if you can build him to get that defense as high as possible, that will protect him enough. You don't need to worry about attack resistances. And then yes, lightning resistance up 15. That will make him good against lightning characters, of course. And yeah, so that makes Mont a really good tank to use against Orlando in particular. I remember one person saying that the game was unbalanced because Orlando could be stopped by Mont, but actually that's an example of good game balance. And here, this often gets forgotten, but Mont can equip all types of armors, light armor, heavy armor, helms, and hats. So that gives him a lot of versatility as far as how to build him. That will make him easier to equip than a lot of other characters. But also if we go here to Trustmaster, we can see that he has access to all of these different Trustmasters. And so he has access to a lot of different passive abilities that these Trustmasters have. And so you can give him Slayers with Eileen's armor. You could give him more AP. You could give a slash and magic attack up buff. And so, yeah, you can give Mont almost any support ability that you like. And then this is kind of important too. He can equip Ododoa's Apron. Not a lot of characters can equip that, but if you wanted to use him more for attack, you can give him defense penetration and then a little bit of AP. And then, if you wanted to build him for defense, you have some options. You could do the gold armor, get the shield variant of that. You could also give him the iron plate. I like this one a lot. You could also give him the platinum armor, which I do not have. And that would be nice for him, actually, because since you're not worrying about slash resistance, you can just get the +0 of the platinum armor, go for a shield type, and then get that high defense. Or you could go for the Sortilege. I really like this one too, just 12 defense. And now in both versions we have the stat stacking. So if you wanted to, you can give him 3 pieces of defensive stuff. I guess we'll give him that. And keep the Sortilege on. And the iron plate. Alright, and then we see his defense jump up to 53. And that's with stat stacking. We're getting a little bit of defense from each. But actually, it doesn't change too much. The percentages that you get from the second and third piece of defense is not that high. So I would actually just kind of stick to one of these. Let's get rid of both of these, actually. 47. Yeah, that's not a big dip. And then you can equip whatever Trustmaster that you like, sword or piece of armor. Same thing with this last slot here. And then you can give him the Leonis Castle card for another 15 defense, and then the Golem Esper for even more defense, and then you're getting up to like 80 something. So that's a good way to build Mont, I think. Okay, but let's go into his board. Let's look at his jobs and skills. Lord gets upgraded to High Lord. And then here we have the Stone Throw. He's very famous for having that. It has some range, does very small damage, costs 5, and you can use it 99 times per battle. But if you get him to EX levels, you can get the Super Stone Throw. This will extend the range, it will give him defense penetration for the attack, and then it will do small damage rather than very small damage. Has 100% hit, and then will also reduce move by 1 on the target. And that's 100%, that move -1. This could be a pretty powerful support ability. It could be good against evade units. Unfortunately, the defense penetration is not a self-buff. It only lasts for that one stone throw. And then it can do like 1,000 damage. I'm sure it could do more if you built for it. But being able to use it 99 times, that might be actually okay for the tower or something. But there still might be situations where you want to turn this off. Maybe especially if you're using him as a tank. Okay, then we have an attack self-buff, and then with the High Lord EX job, that gives him more kind of attack options, as we shall see. I'm looking forward to when he gets his Paladin EX job later in the future. Here is a Beast Slayer. I turn this off if I'm going to use him in Arena. There's no beasts in there. And then here is a Killer Blade. This is maybe his best attack. A little bit of range, big damage, and then Man-Eater. And then this too will get upgraded if you get the EX jobs. Doesn't look like it changes the multiplier or the Man-Eater, but it will drain the damage that you do. And that's great for him as a tank. That will improve his survivability. Okay, Jammer Edge. Not as much damage from this attack, but can interrupt attacks. I don't think I've ever seen that work for that reason. And then, all new ability, Breakdown. This is an AoE attack, a little bit of range, and then will break both attack and magic. And I really like this ability. For one thing, whenever I hear Breakdown, I always think of the one of the theme songs from Mystical Ninja on Nintendo 64. I'll put that music video at the end of this. But also, by being on his main job, and then giving him attack and magic breaks, that means you can kind of skip the Knight sub-job. This also has like a power and a magic break in here. But yeah, if you wanted breaks but also access to like the paladin subjob, you wouldn't have to give it up for the knight subjob. And then I really like attack and magic breaks, especially for like PvE content against strong bosses. So a big fan of this one, and this really makes it worth getting him to job level 25 so that he can get access to this attack. Okay, the High Lord subjob is not great, just 2 abilities. Here is Tackle. The one nice thing about this is that it is a strike attack rather than slash. And then pretty soon there will be a raid in JP where you want Earth Element strike attack, so you could use him as a chainer in there. And then a AoE buff that will restore HP, that's okay. And let's look at Knight again. We got the breaks. Power break, arm break, that might give the don't act, that's very powerful. TP break, that could be good against bosses. Speed break, that also might be good for raids, that will lower agility. And then Divine Heal, a little bit of HP restore. Yeah, the Knight subjob is the one that I use the least with him, for sure. And then we have a Paladin, all the stuff you know here. Blade Bash, Saint Heal, Sentinel, Immortal Spirit, Attract Blade, and then Divine Grace. Divine Grace might be interesting if you want to pair him with a Drain Forcer. Attract Blade, this is going to be his best ranged attack. That will raise his hate as well, and it's kind of the key to making him a tank without using the Vow of Love card, although you're mostly going to want to be using that with him anyway. Hopefully in the future when he gets his Paladin EX jobs, he will get a like a TP skill, a self buff, to give him the hate, just like what Warrior of Light or Rain has. And then I'm really curious to see what the EX job for Engelbert is going to give him. Hopefully he will also get that kind of skill. If he doesn't, I think I might just stick with Mont, use him instead. So yeah, looking at his jobs, looking at his resistances, I would use him as a tank against physical attackers only. I would not take him against magic users. Okay, support abilities, we got HP up. We got this one that raises HP and defense. We also have this one to raise attack. And then finally this one will give him resistance to breaks. If you are making him a defense build, you want to be wary of defense breaks, like what Super Stern or Orlandu have. Nothing you can do against slash resistance piercing or defense penetration yet, but yeah, defense at least, you can give yourself some protection. Okay, then reaction abilities, here's Paladin Guard. When he takes physical damage, he will mitigate that. And then he also has the Sword Guard. That will guard against both magic and physical, but the Paladin Guard has a higher mitigation value to it, so I usually have this on him. And then he's got a counterattack as well. Okay, and then we got the Limit Break. This is an area effect, a little bit of range, big damage. I usually turn this off because it's very expensive, and it doesn't have any special like status effects or anything, so yeah, I don't usually use this one. And then Master Ability, Defense plus 15, Jump plus 1, so that's perfect for him. Okay, but I think that's all I wanted to say about him actually. Soon, I would like to make an arena showcase where I do take him in and see how he can do with tanking physical attackers in particular. Alright, after this I'll put up the music video from Mystical Ninja on Nintendo 64. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.
機械だ鉄人だ今解き放ってよ鋼の魂